Her eyes locked onto mine with a smirk curling at the edge of her lips. "What brings you here? Looking for a handout?" Then he laughed. "The new husband. We don't hire broke guys." That sharp, cocky, rehearsed laugh still echoes in my mind. Not because it hurt, but because they had no idea where they stood, inside my father's office, under his roof, subject to his rules. I said nothing. I only smiled. A smile that never reached my eyes, reserved for those who've already sealed their fate. 2 years before that moment, I believed I was in love, or at least something like it. Her name was Ava, intelligent, stunning, ambitious. She had a way of making you feel like the universe was bending just for you. She loved black coffee, lofty ceilings, and being admired. I gave her all that. I built a small startup for my dorm room, scaled it and sold it. We lived simply. My father always told me that wealth meant nothing without the quiet dignity of earning it on your own. So I never used his name, never touched his money. Ava thought we were scraping by and called it romantic. At first, maybe it was, but her taste for champagne never faded. The clothes got finer, her expectations grew, and my time was no longer enough. My dreams weren't big enough for her. She began to vanish behind endless texts and late dinners. I didn't ask questions. Not yet. Love makes you patient. Pride blinds you. Then she stopped wearing her ring, saying it felt too heavy. I sensed something was wrong when she started calling me too passive. That was Ava's way of saying I was no longer useful, as if ambition was a weapon and she was tired of mine being dull. Then came the gala. I wasn't invited, but she was there, draped in silver, flashing that smile for the cameras beside Liam Foster, son of the sitting president. Legacy money. Groomed for headlines. The kind of man who calls waiters by the wrong name and expects to get away with it. 2 weeks later, they announced their engagement. No apology, no explanation, just a public statement and a block number. Rumors spread. I said nothing. Let them think I was shattered. But I wasn't broken, I was wide awake. Revenge isn't fueled by anger. It's controlled restraint. And I had plenty of time. My name isn't on any buildings. My father never wanted me to be soft. So I built myself from scratch, even though the ground beneath me was paved with gold. He watched quietly as the betrayal unfolded, and when I was ready, he called me into his office. "They're here," he said, calm as ever. "Thought you might want to see them fall." That's how I found myself in that room, wearing a tailored suit, freshly shaved. No announcement, just me walking in like I belonged. They thought I had no right to be there. Ava's eyes widened for a split second before the smirk returned. "What brings you here? Looking for a handout?" Liam leaned back, cocky as ever. "We don't hire broke guys." They were pitching a merger, a media company built on my father's tech infrastructure. They thought they were the future. Then my father entered. His gaze was steel, his steps thunderous. He didn't even glance at me. His eyes locked onto them. "I fired your father," he said, voice cold and sharp as shattered glass. "Both of you, get out." The silence that followed was deafening. Liam went pale. Ava blinked as if it were a joke. No one was laughing. Here's what they didn't know. Liam's father, the president, was quietly under investigation for insider trading. Not public yet, but my father held the evidence. I made sure of it. As for Ava, she'd signed off on confidential financial strategies crossing legal lines. Everything traceable and archived. I didn't leak anything. I didn't have to. I whispered to the right people. The Department of Justice did the rest. Within a week, their faces were plastered across the news, not as darlings, but as liabilities. Liam's campaign funds dried up. Ava's assets were frozen. Her accounts scrutinized. Her boutique business collapsed under the weight of bad publicity. His lucrative book deal was canceled. I never spoke to either of them again. Justice is loudest in silence. Sometimes I think about the way Ava looked at me in that office. So sure she'd won. So confident I was beneath her. But I never needed to prove her wrong. I only needed her to see who I truly was when the masks fell off. Not a broken man, not a forgotten name. Just someone who understood patience, who let betrayal mature before taking his harvest. Now, I sit at the head of the boardroom. My name isn't on the building, but everyone inside knows whose signature shifts the ground beneath their feet. I gave her everything: love, loyalty, trust. She traded it all for flashbulbs and empty promises. I gave her silence. And then I took everything else. Let them remember, the quiet ones don't bark. They strike when it matters most.